Hi everyone, welcome back to the fourth and final session in Decode Monad. Today we're going to do the part 2 to building our gift pack dApp. I'm inviting our teacher, Laurence, up to the stage now, and he's going to teach us about a new concept to the Monad ecosystem, and that is blinks.
So, GM everyone. So let's make a start. So I wanted to just cover a couple of things as well as today's practical part. First of all, these are, I think everybody knows that these are difficult times in crypto at the moment. But if you look, I just looked at some stats on the block explorer here, and it's looking pretty good. If you look at the number of transactions we've got going through Monad, going up very nicely there. The number of accounts is going up. So yeah, so the statistics are favorable. So that's good. Now, something we spoke about last week, which I didn't really have a chance to go into much detail, but I wanted to go through it, was this concept of locking. So that was really part of last week's practical. We talked about the idea of locking assets, and I said one approach to this is that you can use a hash digest, the result of a hash function, and you store that in the contract, and then the way to unlock the item is to provide the input that would provide that output. And this is secure because we know that hash functions are one-way functions, and you can't easily guess what would produce a particular output. So that certainly is one way to do that. I've got some code to show you in a second. There's an example of a slightly more sophisticated example of that. And but I also thought it was worthwhile going through the question that I posed last week, which was why this could be be problematic, just generally on blockchains, and do we discuss, does this also affect Monad? Well, the reason this can be problematic is that is because of front running. And if you want to see an example of this, there's a good example from someone showing this on Ethereum. It's all about the concept of MEV and the fact that transactions will be in a mempool, and therefore the transactions are public, and therefore people can look at the input data that you've got. So in this case, for our locking example, someone could potentially see what the secret was that you're passing into the contract, and then front run you. So copy your transaction, but get their transaction ahead of yours. So that's the general problem that you have with this type of idea, this type of locking. And the reason that this is problematic, the reason that the feature of the blockchain that makes this a problem, obviously, is the fact that we have a concept of a mempool, or the idea that transactions are pending, that there is a time when transactions are visible, but they haven't been included in a block. Now, of course, with Monad, we have some advantages about this, and the whole way that this works. And I, have a look back at some of the notes from the first couple of lessons, particularly lesson 1, about this. But the fact that the way that we handle transactions as they come into the blockchain is subtly different, and in fact, it's much more targeted. So this does reduce the time that any transaction could potentially be visible, and reduces the possibility of front running. So this is a fairly concrete example of how Monad has managed to improve on the architecture of Ethereum to make front running more difficult and to prevent this sort of problem. I do have an example. I think I've got a link to this in the last week's notes. If not, then please let me know. I can give you. This is just a gist. So, but it's an example of how you can do a hash lock, timed hash lock. In this case, it's quite a generic one, but it does give you an idea of the kind of flow that you might want to do, and the fact that you could have something locked in the contract. It would get unlocked by someone possessing the secret. But in this case, what you're using it for is the idea that you have a particular recipient in mind. So you could lock an item for someone and then make that locked for a certain time. And then after a certain time, they can go in and unlock that item and get it. And you can see the way this is set up in the constructor. We pass these details in, including the hashed secret. So this has been hashed off chain, and we're putting the result of that hash through the constructor here, along with the other details. There's some checks there, which are good. And then what you need to do then is when the person is allowed, the recipient is allowed to receive that item, then they can withdraw it. And what they need to do then is just supply the secret. And as you can see, what is done is that this secret is checked by taking the hash of that, and then we check that against the secret that is in the contract. So that's how that check is done. And then we also have some extra pieces, like having a flag to say that this has been done, so we couldn't have any reentrancy, something like this. And then we can do a transfer as well. So this, in fact, this follows, though I think reentrancy may be a little bit more difficult generally here, but this does follow the correct pattern to prevent reentrancy, in that you've got the check first of all here. Sorry, you've got the check here, then the effects, which is setting the flag to prevent reentrancy, and then the interaction, which is transferring the token. So that's the correct order to do interactions to prevent reentrancy. Okay. Yeah, so there's an example. Yeah, so just a simple one, but it gives you an idea of how this can be used. So you can take it in a few different directions. You know, it's not just a case of having something locked. You can then start to decide who the recipient is going to be. You can decide how long it can be locked, etc. So there's quite a few use cases around that. Okay, so let me go back to the notes. Give me a second. Okay. So I'll go on to lesson 4, which is about this new concept called blinks. These were invented, I think they were invented by Solana, and what they're trying to do is to make the user experience very seamless, very easy to get to interact with a blockchain. And it's a way that you can easily create interactions, or we call them actions, but you can create these and publicize them so that people can easily interact with your contract, but also to do it in a way that, well, is simple for the user, but is also safe for the user as well. So, excuse me. In essence, these things are blockchain links. So they really are. You can see them as links to some means of processing and creating transactions. They are rich in metadata. So this means that this is useful because this can give confidence to the user, because they can see some of this data as well. But it can also be done very easily. So as we point out here, instead of having to do something long and laborious, it can be just as simple as clicking a button and things will be populated for you, and the whole process will proceed. Now, I've given you a link there to some general documentation, which is good. So do have a look through that if you want to find out, well, how they work, but also get some advanced examples as well. We've only got time to do something fairly simple today, but it will show you how to do advanced examples of chaining things together, for example. I've got a diagram. This mentions the Solana blockchain, but it's really the same. It's for Monad as well. So the way that this works is that your user will be made aware of the action. Now, that could be because they see a tweet, or they visit a site where there's a button perhaps, or it could be a QR code. But that's meant to be something quite quite lightweight, quite simple for the user to find and to interact with. And when they do that interaction, what that does is to create a GET request, which is sent to the action provider here. So this is a process that is going to assemble the data for a particular thing that the user wants. So the user, say, visits the site and clicks a button maybe, and that is then sent as a GET request to the action provider, and they can then respond with some rich metadata. So that can come back with some type of image, title, description, etc. And the way that the actions or the blinks work is that this data can then be rendered. And one of the an ideal way of doing this is to, for example, have it within a wallet. And so you can provide all of this information back to the user, and they can then see, they can check the details of what it is that they're trying to do. Doesn't have to be, so there are different ways to do this. So, but all of this data should come back to the user, and they should be able to see the transaction that is being prepared for them and the details of that. Then when they see that, they can then decide what to do. So they can then react to that, which is going to create a post request, but with details of their key. So this can be then used for a transaction. This the action provider can then respond to this with a transaction ready to sign, which goes to the user, and then they can sign that. And then that signed transaction is then all assembled and sent off to the blockchain. Okay, so I've sort of, it's all been split out here into different pieces, but it is quite simple really, the way they works. And if you think of this from the user perspective, obviously it's going to feel reasonably seamless, but reasonably secure as well, because obviously you start off, you're visiting a site maybe, or you've got a QR code, you need to be somewhat skeptical about what is going to happen at that point. So this is why we need the action provider to be providing the correct information. And I'll talk a little bit more about the security side of things a little bit later. Okay. So what we need to do then generally is we need to set up the code to create the action, and this could be really anything. It could be a simple transfer, or it could be a function call. Once you've got that, then you need to have the code ready to actually perform the transaction, which we're going to, essentially this is going to be the same as we generally do with interacting with contracts. So it's just that this is wrapped up as part of this blink. Then this can be put into a Blink client, and as I say, the clients that can be used can be things like wallets. So, for example, the Phantom wallet or Backpack. So we need this kind of thing because we need some way of signing the transaction. So we need something that is capable of doing that for us. Of course, this could be part of the website as well. You could have that, but whatever it is, we need a way that this transaction can be sent to the user, and they can see that it is valid and then respond to that. And obviously, once you've got all this set up, then you can set up this link, effectively what the blink is, wherever you like. Because they are very simple, then they can easily be shared on social media, etc. Okay. If you want to have a look at some, there are some examples. There's got some examples here. So I think this is from the Monad docs. I just took a screenshot a while ago for this, but you can see what this allows you to do is to buy some simple assets. These are just simple NFTs, I think. but it could be anything, any kind of asset that you may want to get involved with. As you can see here, but it could be something more complex. It could be used to do a swap on some exchange as well. It's really up to you how you write the action and prepare that transaction that is going to happen. Okay. So I'll go on to show you some code now of how to do this. Now there are some different ways to approach this. What I've done is to follow there's a tutorial in the Monad doc, so I've been following that. There's also another tutorial which is the Monad scaffold, which is kind of the same, but it's just slightly different. But that's introduced on the Blinks site as well. Now I've actually got this. I've got this in Gitpod. I set this up, so I've just got a simple repo where I did all of this, so I can show you the code there. It's probably easiest for you to see. Now, unfortunately, some of the way that this works has changed recently, so I've had some problems with the code, so it's not all working, but I think it will get sorted out shortly. So please do come back. But I want to show you really is the overall flow. You'll see what we need to do. So it's very easy to set up. So you can create a new project with this command. So it sets up this Blink Starter Monad project, which is what I've got here. I'm just close on that. So you can see this is kind of a standard project. When you set it up, it takes you through some questions which you can just go through go for the defaults for all of those. That will work fine. You do need to install some dependencies at this point as well. So you can see there, obviously this one here is the kind of the main one. It's the actions that we need to write. So you'll need to install that. And then you can just get it running by npm run dev. So that will start up your local server, which is what I've got running here. That's the sort of the boilerplate, the sort of the easy, the thing that it creates for you. But we need to go in now and do some specifics. So I'll take you through that. So we need to set up a basic structure for this. There's really two files we initially need to work with, which is this root, these two TypeScript files, root, both called root. So this one is the kind of more general one, I guess. But this one here under the API actions one is the specific one. And what we've got here, under actions, you then can set up the projects that you want. So in our case, we've got one that is about donating. So we've got one called Donate Mod. So that is our particular project, and we're going to put the details of the actions within there. And as I say, we also have this general root file as well. So we've got this is the general one that you need to add, but then what we need is the specific one. So really, this is the important file that you need to add, this root. So within this, let me show you in here actually. We've got, first of all, just some imports. We've got details here of we're storing here the donation wallet. So this is about donating. So this is where the donation is going to go to. Then this is used for this is for the headers. So yeah, we just need those for the HTTP headers. You need this for the where it checks cores. So you need this as well, the options to be set up. Also, so this top part anyway is kind of the basics. I suppose this thing here is specific. Oh, we've also got the we need to specify the chain ID of the blockchain. So we've got that set up there also. All right. Then we get to the actual GET request that we're going to do. So this is what we are going to be, the possibilities we are going to return to the user. So when they first interact with the action, this is what they are going to get by way of a response. So this one, what it does is to set up some different possibilities here. So you can see we've got a number of different donations that you can give. So in this case, we've got these hard-coded ones, and then one where you can put in a custom amount as well. So this is what the user is going to be returned when they first interact with your Blink. Okay, and you can see here that these are going to then be used for the next part of the process. So if I just go back again to my where was it? My oops, lost my diagram. Yeah, so this is the first part here. We're setting up the details of the GET request. So this is going to get returned so that then they will be able to click on the correct link, and that will be setting up the post request. Okay, so we've got the various options there. Yeah, so that's the first part. So let me go back to the notes quickly. Yeah, that's details of the cause. Also, you can put in an image as well if you want. So I think, yeah, there's an example here. You can create a public folder, and within that you can put in something to use as an icon. So we've got that there. Also, once you've just got that part going, without anything else, you can actually start up your server, and what you should be able to do, you can run this locally. So npm run dev will serve this for you. The URL you would call to get that action, it would look like this. So it by default goes to port 3000, and obviously this is running locally, and then the route here is the route that is going to effectively to this this file. So it's going to the API actions donate mon, and then this file can effectively work out, that this is a GET request going here. Okay, now if you the way you can test this, and this I think maybe I can show you. Oh, yeah, so you can test this on the Dial2 site. So this is Dialect are the team that are sort of leading the way with Blinks, and so they're providing a lot of tooling and etc. So you can go to their site. Now this is what I've done here is I'm running my server. Because I'm running it in Gitpod, obviously it's a little bit odd, the port that I have. Sorry, it's not Gitpod, it's a workspace on GitHub. But anyway, and then you just need to make sure that you specify the correct path here. So that's the kind of the same as we've got here. So if you're doing it, you're running it locally, then you just use the local host one. And then what that will do is it will check what you have. It should bring up the correct preview here. Obviously, I've got some error somewhere, so it's not bringing it up correctly. But it does show you here. It's checking my get action, which is this part here. and saying that's okay. There's a problem with the cause. It may be because I think because I'm running this on a workspace, because I think this the details. Oops, the details here that I've got set up, I think are correct. Or the details there, and yeah, and these details, I think those are correct. So I think it should just be because I'm doing it from GitHub. Also, I've gone a step further, and I've got the post details in here as well, so it's checking through those also. Okay, but that's the first part that you need to do. So make sure that you can get that piece going first, the get section going first. You can check it in this site in dial2 and just put in your localhost, and it should then bring up something like this. So this was an example that I did earlier, and you can see it brought up the what the actual link is going to look like. So there's the PNG that we had. The actual possibilities we've got are shown here. So those are the three hard-coded ones, the hard-coded donation parts, and then there's a custom thing box here that you can use and to do a custom donation. So yeah, as I say, I'm sorry, it seems to have. I think some of the syntax has changed, and so maybe that's why it's not working. But anyway, this is what you should see. It gives you up a nice preview. You just need to go to the dial.2 site, and you should get that. Okay, so that's the first half. So this is what the user would then be able to see. I'll come back to this point here about it being registered in a little while. But the next part in the flow is let me go back to the notes. Let me show you that diagram. So we've got this here, so it's being rendered, and then it's up to the user to click on one of the particular links. And we need to specify what's going to happen with those. So that's what the next part in the root file is about. So you've got the post options here. So what this does is, well, it works out the amount in this case because we could have a custom amount, and then it's going to put together the transaction. So this is where the sort of the heart of it is now. The user is agreeing to this, but we need to create the transaction for that. So that's what you've got here. In this particular example, we just extract the amount. So even though in our oh, I've lost my example. Oh, sorry, it's the notes, wasn't it? Yeah, even though we've got these hard-coded amounts, when this is rendered, obviously there's just a field called amount, which can then be searched for and then used as the input to the transaction. So that's why in the post here, it's a little bit simpler, I guess. Still, we need details like the chain ID. So we can then return that. So that's the post endpoint there. So that's, yeah. So that just goes in the same file. So I've just put it into two parts just to show you the different pieces there. But we really, we need a client to for this. Oh, I'm sorry, this is formatted badly here. We need a configuration file. So let me show you that. So yeah, so we're using Wacom for this to create our client. So we just need that simple configuration file for that. We need the provider. Yeah, I'll fix this. This this is to connect to a wallet, and it's the formatting has gone wrong in this in these notes, but I'll get that fixed for you. So that's the provider file that we have here. So you can see this. I don't think I've spoken about this before. The one point about when we're interacting with chains, if you're new to that, one very useful concept that we have is that of the being able to connect to wallets, because quite often we have a dApp that's in a browser, and we want to be able to connect to the browser extension, the wallet, so it's going to pop up like whatever it is, MetaMask or Phantom, whatever the wallet they're going to be using, and that is there are libraries to help you with that, so that you can connect to those wallets, and they will allow you, the user, to interact, to sign in, to sign into their wallet, and it will bring back things such as their address and allow you to sign the transaction. So that's what that is there, and this is to do with the layout of the React here. That's just that. The next part is the Blink component itself, which you can see here. This is this thing is definitely this is an example where it has definitely changed the syntax. So just be aware of that. I think the names for some of these components has changed recently. So be aware of that if you look at some previous documentation. But yeah, this is what we can use for that, and this is what we would see. This is what our site would show us, and it includes the adapter, as you can see there. What this is doing is connecting to your wallet, as you can see here, and then getting ready to execute the Blink. And we've got what we want to do specified here. So this is going to then go back to the details that we've the details that we've got here in this root file. Okay. All right. The point of this then is to create the transaction that is going to interact with the program. In this case, it's a very simple thing that we're just doing a transfer. This is where we're actually setting the transaction up. I think in the code I've taken out the environment file and just hard coded the chain ID. But generally speaking, you can. I don't think I've got the environment file here, but it is good practice if you have, special details, to have an environment file that can be read with details of the configuration, just to make it more flexible as well. And then this gives you the creating the transaction part, so that we can actually do the donation. Now, when we're doing this, when we're interacting with the contract, we will need to know the details of the functions we're interacting with. It could be something as simple as a transfer, or it could be something more complex. But we need to have those details available via some ABI, and I'm sure you're all familiar with the ABI there. So this would be what we would use to actually create it, get the transaction sent off. You've got details of the chain ID you can see there, you could have, depending on what ID, you could have different ones. I should those be the same. I'm sorry about that. But here, what we've got is a very simple transfer where we're just doing a sending to a particular address, and then we're getting a value. This amount refers to the amount that we've input, originally, if you remember what it looked like for the client. So that would give the value into the transaction. And then you can actually create the transaction and send this off, as you can see here, with that. Okay. So that's really a very simple example of what all you need to do if you want to create a blink. There are further examples. You can, if you have a look at the documentation, they've got some further examples. They've got some more complex examples as well. So you can do things like chaining actions together, etc. So I guess this kind of thing would be more is for things like if you're doing swaps perhaps, or doing things where you have to have things chained together. So do have a look at that. As I said, they have these scaffolds that they've created. So originally this came from Solana, so that was the first one, I think. But then they've got one for Monad as well. So this is similar. Excuse me. Is similar to the code that I've shown you. They've just it's just called things slightly differently, but you can have a look at that as well, and try that one out also. But I think the general idea behind it is that you could use something like this scaffold to set up a project, and then you'll customize it according to the whatever your particular use case is going to be. But there's enough in here that is quite general, that you could reuse it, particularly the first part that I showed you here. This bit here, these parts here are kind of fairly general, so you could reuse those. Of course, then you need to have the specifics of what actions you want, and then the post part as well. All right, so that's that's the example of the blink. I hope that's all made sense. It's in some ways I think there's nothing drastically new there. I don't think, except that they've managed to put together things in a fairly nice way and made it fairly portable. So, but you're working really with the same type of technology you would have already worked with, sort of similar libraries. You've probably used WebMe before, and ConnectKit, for example. So those are things that are going to be familiar to you, but the process perhaps is a little different, and the way it's created and made to be very simple for the user to interact with. That's kind of where they've made something of a breakthrough. I should say as well, the details, I think they've got them hopefully in here about registering the blinks as well. I don't know if I've got what I've got. No. I don't have the. I thought I put this in the notes, but anyway. So the registering your blinks, the idea is that obviously we want security, so we have to have a way of giving the user confidence that what they're interacting with is genuine and not something malicious. And so this is why Dialect have this public registry of blinks that have been verified. And that is what you see. That's what you're seeing here. So you've got, various different blinks. You can try all of these out. This kind of thing. I suppose this kind of format is quite a similar one. This is really the same as what we were just looking at. Also, buying NFTs, simple games as well. It makes sense that you would want to use that. Prediction markets, lots of interesting things. And yeah, there's a link to the details about Monad blinks as well. So if you want to, if once you've got your blink written and tested, and you're ready to send it out, then you need to register it. So there's details of how to do that here. They got some details here of that they suggest that you can do things like making sure that there's some contact details, so that if there is a problem, they can get in touch with you to sort it out. So yeah, that's that. There's not so many, we don't have that many blinks available yet. So I think this is quite a good time to create one. You're not, your blink is not going to be lost in the crowd. So good time to get involved, I think, there. All right. So that's everything I wanted to say about that. I will update. Sorry, the notes are formatted slightly wrong. I'll get those updated as well. But hopefully you can have a look, or you can use this as a basis to create your own application, create your own blink. Of course, also there's the point that if you've created, you've got a contract, or maybe you've got a dApp. Having a blink as well is a very, it's a kind of a very simple way that users can add, so that users can interact with your contract very simply and quite seamlessly. Okay, let me move on. What I wanted to do next is just to quickly review what we've. Actually, no. Before I do that, let me just mention one blink that I wanted to point out, which was this one, which I thought is worth having a look at. If you are thinking about a project that you may want to do for a hackathon or something to try out, this I think will be quite interesting, because the MCP servers are becoming very popular, it seems to me anyway, because they allow large language models to then interact with services, which then really opens up lots of possibilities. So this is quite a nice little tutorial to go through as well. So you've got the example here that they're doing, they're adding this server, and it's interacting here. And I think you see in the final, the final video here, it's actually getting the balance for a particular address. You can see there. So, and then you can, then it can interact further. So you can plug this in to, whichever large language model you would like. You just need to get the configuration set up and give it details of how to interact as well. So that I thought was quite impressive. I imagine that there's going to be lots of applications built using this type of thing. So I would have a look, check that one out. I think that's going to be an interesting one for you. And there's quite a nice tutorial for it there as well. Okay, but let me go back. The course review. It was only a very short course, obviously, but the first session we were speaking about the differences of Monad, why it had been created, and the architecture, and I went into details about some of the innovation, and there is quite a lot there. I have to say they've really introduced a lot to make Monad very scalable, increase the throughput. So there's lots to dig into, and I also discussed use cases as well, but also how the architecture will affect you. What details of the architecture you need to be thinking about as a developer. And we also went through the details about the community as well. That really continued with the second session where I wanted to really show that, when you're writing contracts, what you need to be aware of, how Monad could differ. And we spoke about the way that gas works, and which obviously then is the basis for the transaction fee. And I went through some optimization strategies as well around gas, just to general ones, because everybody wants to reduce the cost of their transactions. We also spoke about other concepts like state rent, and then we had a comparison with other blockchains and how it really compares. So those first two sessions were very much about how Monad's different, and what this means to you as a developer, what you need to think about. But one of the great benefits of this is that you're getting all of this extra functionality. You're getting all of this scalability, for example. But that you don't really have to change what you're doing very much. If you come from an Ethereum background, and I think we had a poll looking at that, and most people here are from that background. If you're coming from the background, there's not very much you need to change. So if you want to take a project that you have on Ethereum or maybe on a layer 2, then it should be quite simple for you to take that and bring it over, because this is an EVM, so that's just going to work, and you'll get all of this extra scalability. You'll get the cheaper transactions, etc. And plus with the tooling as well, that is also available. So you can use as we saw last week, we were using the same development tools. We were using Foundry. You can use Hardhat. You can use the block explorers. Look the same. So all of these things make it very easy to get up and running on Monad. It's really just there are some things you need to be aware of because they help scalability. But for when you're writing your contracts, you can very much just use the experience that you've already got. There's not too much new that you need to think about. And then last week we went into some details, some more practical details. We looked at token standards, and I talked about some different types and how we can mix the fungible and non-fungible tokens together, and I gave you some examples of that. We looked at development as well, and testing and how to deploy, and a lot of the tools available there. Again, it's this really useful, the fact that we can use the same tools again. And I concentrated on Foundry because I think that is a great tool. There's a lot of functionality there. It really helps you with testing. And I do want to really encourage you to make sure your contracts are secure. So do make the most of testing. Try to break your contracts, get other people to look at your contracts, get your code audited, etc. So be careful about that. We also spoke about access control as well, which again, very much very important when you're thinking about security. And then today, we looked at blinks and how to build a simple one. As I say, there's a couple of tutorials you can follow, a couple of sample projects that you can set up and try out. I think, there's been some recent changes, so just be aware of that. If things don't work, it may just be because those need to be updated, but I'm sure they will be very shortly. And then just to finish off, I wanted to give you some ideas of where you can go next, what else there is to do. The Monad community does seem very vibrant, so they seem to be doing a lot. So I've listed here some links for you to follow there. The documentation is quite comprehensive. We've seen some of that already, but there's a lot there. I mean, more so than you tend to see, I think, with some new chains. They've got lots of details of the innovations that they've gone into, and the architecture, etc. So that's a great reference. I think I also gave you a link to a talk at ETH Denver that was very good, talking about how the execution can be deferred, and yeah, all those sorts of concepts that have helped with scalability. So make the most of those. They're very good. There's also they have a Substack where they look back and do a sort of at least monthly, I think, newsletter saying what's been going on. So that's good. Then on Discord as well, they have this event weekly, I guess, where they're trying to get people involved, so they allow people to showcase their applications, and then other people there can provide feedback and help with that, and they've been incentivizing that, so that's very good. And also, people can create content about those applications as well. Lots there. There's a link there to the form. If you've got an application that you want to submit to that, then there's a link to the form that you can do there. There's also lots of community events. So there's a link there to the calendar. I just screenshotted a couple of days worth here, but you can see a lot of this is happening on Discord. You can see some of the events. There's the Monad Madness events. One has just started. I don't know when the next one is, but there's a list there of those events. So keep an eye out for those as well. The Monad Foundation there, so very typical that they have a foundation to oversee the ecosystem as well, and to help with that. So there's links to that there. There are some jobs available. So if you're interested in getting more involved, you can apply for some of the jobs. I haven't looked at those in detail, but I think usually there's plenty of jobs going around. If you want to help promote the ecosystem in your area, they're usually very happy to support you with that. And then finally, I've got a link there to the events that Encode are running. So Encode do a huge amount of events across many different chains, and of many different types as well, and also different technologies, not just Web3. So if you're interested in hackathons, etc., or other courses, other boot camps, there's plenty for you to have a look at there. I mean, I think one of the great things is, with Monad being EVM, then all of this is very transferable. So there's lots that is going to apply. Lots of places that you can use your skills that you're building up. Okay, I think that's everything I wanted to. I lost my window. I think that's everything I wanted to say at that point. Just to finish off with some thank you. So thanks to the Encode team for organising this. As usual, a marvellous job, and also the Monad team who've been very helpful, providing details. But most importantly, thanks to all of you for attending. And I really do hope you go out and build some amazing projects. So thanks everyone, and have a great time building.
Thank you very much, Laurence, for being our teacher on this course as well. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of thanks in chat. So that is the end of Decode Monad. I just have a few announcements to make, and then we'll wrap up. I won't share my screen, so Laurence, feel free to just keep your screen live. But a massive congratulations to everyone who joined, and thank you for coming and joining us on Decode Monad. I hope you found it a valuable experience. We're so excited to see you start building and using the skills that you've learned on this course. One key thing is, for making it this far and completing Decode Monad, you are eligible for a certificate of completion. So this is quite a good thing to have on your CV. So please keep an eye out on your inbox, your emails, for the certificate form to fill out if this is your first Encode program. If this is not your first Encode program, no need to fill it out. You'll have your normal certificate, you'll receive a certificate as normal if you've received one in the past. But if this is your first program, please keep an eye out in your inbox. This process usually happens towards the end of the month, so please be patient and keep an eye out and fill in the form when we share it with you. Again, massive thank you to everyone for joining us. All these workshops are going to be available on YouTube, so if you ever want to rewatch them, especially the final two, if you want to go back through the building an app, then you can rewatch on YouTube. And I believe, Laurence, will your notes be available for some time?
They will, yes. They're going to be
amazing. So you can also
like,
go back through the workshop notes, which I'm sure will be a really valuable resource. So that's everything from me. Thank you for joining us, everyone. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you again very soon in another Encode program. Have a good day, everyone.